Efforts to shape the rules, norms and values of cyberspace are becoming a central component of modern statecraft. In this in-brief video series, we're unpacking how so-called middle ground countries in the global south are using cyber statecraft to achieve their national goals. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Sameer Patil, Director at the Observer Research Foundation in India, to discuss India's approach to cyber statecraft. So Sameer, how would you characterize India's approach to cyber statecraft, and are there any examples of policies or initiatives that you can give?
I suppose India's approach to cyber statecraft is, in a sense, a work in progress, because over the last 1.5 decades, India has built in its regulatory capabilities as well as the diplomatic capabilities in terms of engaging with the cyber and technology issues. That includes the formation of the Defense Cyber Agency as well as building of the cyber forensic capabilities and cyber criminal investigation capabilities. So in that sense, what India is doing is that it is putting in place various building blocks of that approach to cyber statecraft, and is also talking about a responsible use of the cyber tools at the international level.
And if we look at the international level, is there anything unique about India's approach, particularly maybe compared to the NATO countries or kind of countries like China or Russia?
I suppose India's unique ability is the fact that it is at the crossroads of the global north and the global south, but at the same time it is also sitting in the middle of the two camps which have come up in the cyberspace, the eastern camp led by China and Russia, and the western camp led by United States and Europe. But India is sitting in the middle because it does not want to identify any of the two blocks, but it is also working with the like-minded partners on both sides to ensure that the global cyber cooperation is achieved, which also means the fact that India is engaging with the US, but at the same time it is also engaging with Russia. Now, a word of caution here is the fact that India is not working with some of the countries with whom it has a very intense security competition, which basically includes China and Pakistan. But barring those two countries, India is practically working with all the countries to advance global cyber cooperation.
And so in that sense, does India's approach to cyber statecraft essentially mirror its kind of broader grand strategy or foreign policy?
Absolutely, because India perceives itself as a rule maker, and over the last few years, India has, in a sense, put in that approach of being a rule maker where it is driving conversations on the responsible uses of technology, but also sharing of some of those technological expertise with the countries in the global south to work with some of the like-minded partners from the west on some of these issues. But at the same time, India believes that it has a very unique responsibility, because if you see India's experience in the last 75 years since its independence, India was always at the receiving end of some of these rules. So India wants to change that perception and want to emphasize the fact that it is now emerging as a rule maker rather than a rule taker.
Great, thank you.